Now, during that time, the first draft ever of Jason Light, the first pick is Mike Evans, who of course is a Bucks legend himself. And for a couple of years, it's building out the roster and getting some pieces here. There were some ups, there were some downs, but we get to eventually 2020, which is the world is going crazy, COVID is happening, and that's the big year where Bruce is going into his second year as head coach, and then all of a sudden we bring in Tom Brady to take over as the quarterback. You played a big role in that recruiting of Tom, getting him signed. What is just your favorite memory from that process? Because, like I said, the world was going crazy at the time with COVID. And meanwhile, you guys are out here trying to recruit the greatest quarterback ever.
It was a really, really unique and fascinating experience. And we still kind of talk about the different things that happened during that time period and how crazy it was. But for us, free agency was starting and we had to have plan one, which was Tom. And if we get Tom, here's what we're going to try and do. And then plan two, three, four, there was a lot of balls in the air that we were managing. And then fortunate enough to obviously to land Tom. And immediately, normally one moment that really sticks out is normally you sign a player, especially of his caliber, you fly him in the next day, you can get him in private, and there's a big press conference. He signs there. During that period, you obviously couldn't bring players in. And I remember talking to his agent, Steve Dubin, and I go, Steve, how's he going to sign this contract? Because he was in New York City at the time. And he's like, we'll figure out. He probably has a printer. And I go, I doubt he has a printer, a scanner, random apartment that, he may be staying in. And it's not like Tom Brady can go to FedEx Kinko's and head down the street and sign there. And I don't want, Tom Brady just said he's coming to us. I don't want a day or two going by and teams start calling him and offering him the work. We want that contract signed because we just got the greatest player ever to agree to come here. I want that thing signed right away. So fortunately, I call my brother-in-law, Jake, who lives in New York City, has worked at the league office for a little bit now. Works at NBC at the time. He was working and PR and communications. So he's had experience in dealing with players and the industry. And I go, Jake, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to do it right now. And I go, at 4:01, whatever time, I need you to go and print out a contract. And I need you to go to Tom Brady's apartment. I need you to have him sign it. And silence at first on the other end. And Jake agrees to do it, obviously, gets to his apartment. And I remember him saying, I said to the doorman, I'm Jake, I'm here to see Tom Brady. And the doorman says, 12th floor. And he gets to the elevator and he looks back. He says, but what apartment? He goes, no, son, the 12th floor. So Jake is the person who actually ends up signing Brady to the contract. He's the one who took the picture of Brady signing that got tweeted out. So for me, it was a nice moment that I got to share with Jake, but it was just kind of sums up that time period of COVID that you have to think of different ways and creative ways to get things done. And it was great that I got to, include my brother-in-law in this experience because it's something that always stands out for me when we talk about signing Tom Brady.
I never heard that story before. I mean, I know the picture. I remember the picture. It was tweeted out. Everybody went crazy. I didn't know that it's your own family out here is the one who's going out there to get the paper to him. That's a pretty awesome story. And it wasn't just Tom. I mean, Tom comes in, it's great. There's also Gronk, who at the time is retired out of all of this. How does that all happen of getting Gronk into it? And I know there was a trade involved, but like, what do you remember about that pursuit as well?
That time we were out of the office. It was right around when we were doing the draft, getting ready to do the draft at home, which was a unique experience, but great experience having my family around and the kids being around for that. But I remember that Tom had mentioned, I think Gronk wants to play again. Maybe he's like, I'm not saying what to do, but obviously he would love to play with Gronk. And I remember Jason and Coach Belichick talking through it, uh, and Gronk wanting to come out of retirement and play here. And we kind of kept it. We were able to keep it quiet for a little bit because we still needed him to get a physical, and we couldn't fly him in to get the physical. We had to set him up with somewhere in Boston, and we were like, okay, well, once he goes for physical, this is going to break pretty quickly. And so just trying to navigate that situation was a little challenging as well. But it was great having Gronk here and really exciting to have him on board. It's such a great guy, such a great player.
We all know the year Tampa had that year, first team ever to not just win the Super Bowl, but win it in their home stadium. What do you remember just about that night that the Super Bowl is won? It's all a success. Tom's first year, Gronk's first year, made it to the mountaintop. What do you remember about just that night in general, being at Raymond J Stadium that night?
Well, we had had the same staff here for especially scouting staff for a long time. Rob McCartney is going on. He started the year after me, and Spencer Dill. I think there's 15th season those guys are going to. And Mike Beals had been here a while, and Shane Scannell, and Byron Kiefer, and all of us have kind of been together for a long time. So to win it here and we won it, it was just nice to kind of be around each other and been like, okay, all those late nights, all those weekends, those mornings, we had a lot of losing seasons that we kind of endured together. It was worth it. It paid off. Look, we made it here. We won. So that's what really was, I think, the most special thing, just kind of sharing it with all the people that you went through this process with and struggled with at times, but really kind of, believed in each other, believed in what we're doing, believed in Jason and his plan, and seeing it kind of come together. And it was special just to be around each other and enjoy that with each other.
Now, that was all great. You win the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl parade happens. It's probably the greatest parade ever. But Bruce Arians gets on the microphone, and I would imagine this makes your job harder. But he's like, Levante David, you're going nowhere. Shaq Barrett, you're going nowhere. Chris Godwin, you're going nowhere. You have to retain all these players. They're all about to become free agents, and he's putting it on the record that all of you will be back no matter what. Retaining all 22 starters and bringing back everyone when the salary cap is going down because of COVID, how difficult was that for you?
I think, and I remember that moment very, very clear. If you look in the background, because it's the end of the parade and Bruce is on stage saying that when Levante comes up, and then Sue and Chris, and you can see, I think me and Jackie are probably like crying a little bit in the background, like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make this work? I remember us making eye contact across the room and being like, we got our work cut out for us. But as a salary cap and contract person, that's like the dream. That's how do we take a situation where we were just successful and make it all work and have that put together that puzzle to try and do it again. And so it was fun. It was one of the probably most fun I've had. And me, Jackie, and Jason really sat down, put together a plan, pitched it to ownership, and to their credit, our owners, they signed off on it, because a lot of people always talk like the salary cap isn't real. You could push things. Well, you can do that, but step one is you always need the financial resources to do that. And without that, you don't get to be creative. You don't get to re-sign all the players. So it's nice that me, Jackie, Jason, everyone always credits us to re-signing all 22, but that doesn't happen without the commitment from our owners being like, we're going to give you the resources to go and do this, and we want to keep this team together, and we want to win. And so that's really step one of the whole process is having the resources. And then it was probably the most fun I've had in going into a free agency, because that's the dream for the salary cap person, to try and make that all work.
To recap that offseason, franchise tagged Chris Godwin, re-signed Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, and Ndamukong Suh, Ryan Suckup, the kicker, Antonio Brown, and then extended Tom Brady and Donovan Smith to bring down their cap numbers as well. It's quite the offseason. A lot of people said it would be probably impossible, and you guys figured it out with the help of yourself, Jason, and of course, Jackie and ownership giving the green light.